They say truckers see the strangest things on the road, but what if I told you the strangest thing was the company I worked for? I've been behind the wheel for over a decade. Cross-country hauls, lonely night routes, sketchy gas stations. I've seen it all, or at least I thought I had. Until I joined this new company. The money was good, too good actually, and they only asked one thing of me. Always follow the rules, no matter what. At first, I thought they were just being overly cautious. Safety regulations, driving laws, insurance policies. I've dealt with all of that before, but these weren't those kinds of rules. These were the kind that could keep you alive, or leave you as nothing more than a whisper on the road. My buddy Jake was already working for them and swore by the job. He set me up with a referral, and the interview was bizarre. They didn't care about my experience. Instead, they asked things like, have you ever abandoned your truck on a highway? Are you afraid of the dark? Are you religious? I brushed it off. Maybe they just wanted dependable drivers. I got the job on the spot. My first assignment? A night delivery, dried meat products to a small town way off the grid, only drivable between sundown and sunrise. Jake told me the GPS wasn't reliable out there and sent me a message with instructions, said to listen to it after I got on the road. That was my first mistake. I actually listened. Jake's voice crackled through the speaker. Turn on your high beams. Keep them on no matter what. It's going to be darker than usual. Don't panic. Sure enough, once I got on the old road, the darkness swallowed everything outside those beams. It was like driving through a tunnel made of ink. Within 10 miles, you'll see a dead-end sign. Ignore it. Just drive. And I did. The sign stood tall and crooked, like it had been watching me for years. That's when the light started flickering. A normal person would have stopped, maybe checked the wiring. Not me. I remembered Jake's next words. If your lights flicker, floor it until they stop. I did exactly that. And for 20 terrifying seconds, I drove blind through the pitch black, praying the engine didn't die. They stopped flickering just as a shape appeared ahead. Standing on the side of the road was an old man. Thumb out, pale skin, no bags, no jacket. Jake's voice echoed, if he says, to the nearest town, let him in. If he says anything else, don't stop. I rolled down the window, heart pounding. Where you headed? I asked. He looked at me, eyes milky and distant. To the nearest town, he muttered. Reluctantly, I unlocked the door. He climbed in and sat silently. For an entire hour, he didn't move, didn't speak, just stared ahead. Then, suddenly, let me out. We were in the middle of nowhere. I pulled over. He stepped out and began walking into the dark woods nearby. Don't look at him while he's walking away, but curiosity got the best of me. I peeked in the mirror. He wasn't walking, he was hovering. With the old man gone, I pushed forward. At mile 20, I heard it. A low growling from the trailer. Then came the banging. Not random, rhythmic, measured, angry. Jake had warned me. Ignore the noises from the back. Keep a steady speed, do not stop. I gripped the wheel tighter, eyes locked on the road. Every instinct told me to pull over and check it out, but I didn't. The longer I drove, the louder it got, until silence. But the kind of silence that's just too quiet, the kind that makes your ears ring with dread. At mile 35, the radio turned on, full volume, without me touching it. A screech of static roared through the cab. Jake's voice had been clear. If you hear static, stop. Kill the engine. Lay flat. Close your eyes. My hands trembled. I pulled over, shut everything down, and laid across the seats. That's when it started. Tapping. First on the windshield, then the roof. Then the passenger door handle jiggled. Something was out there. And then the door opened. I stopped breathing. A heavy, wet breath drifted over my cheek. Something sniffed me. Then silence. Click. The door closed. I waited, then peeked at the driver's window. Fogged over. I waited another minute like Jake said. Then I drove, fast. At mile 50, I saw it. Something was running alongside the truck, on all fours. But it wasn't an animal. Its limbs were too long, too fast, too human. I hit 60, then 70. But it kept pace, face just out of sight. Jake had warned me about this. Don't look at it. Just stay fast and wait for the curve. Curve up ahead. I took it hard. Tires screamed. Glanced to the side. It was gone. I exhaled until the next curve, and it was still there. One more curve left. No room for error now. At mile 70, the engine sputtered and died. Panic exploded in my chest. I remembered Jake's warnings. Start the engine fast. Don't look in the rearview mirror. But I heard them. Footsteps, dozens of them, getting closer. Breath held, I turned the key. Once, twice, nothing. Figures moved behind the trailer. A third time, vroom! The engine roared. I slammed the gas, eyes forward, refusing to look back, not even once. It got hot, like being in an oven. Sweat soaked my shirt. I reached for the window crank, then paused. Jake's voice again. Don't open the window, no matter what. Even the AC had stopped working. But when I looked at the side mirror, I swear I saw a face staring in. Only visible for a blink. I drove faster. Around 3 a.m., my phone rang. Caller ID, Jake. I reached for it, then stopped. Don't answer, even if it's me. 3 calls, one after another, then a text. Look out your window. I didn't. Even when something began scratching at the glass. At mile 100, a pair of headlights approached. Jake's last warning, so I could turn off your lights. Let them pass. Don't honk, don't wave. I obeyed. The truck passed, silent and enormous. The air around it felt wrong. Then I saw it turn around in the mirror. Coming back, I floored it. At mile 120, I saw the 20 miles per hour sign. Slowed down just in time. Any faster, and I swear, something in the trees would have come out. At 1:30, a woman stood in the road, waving, screaming. I looked away, sped up. She vanished behind me. A moment later, I felt someone in the passenger seat, but I didn't look. Not until I reached the 140th mile. Then, the road opened up. Town lights flickered ahead. Warehouse workers took the shipment without a word. No eye contact, no questions. I sat in my cab, shaking. Later, I texted Jake. Was it a prank? He only replied with 3 words. Glad you made it. I never took that route again, but sometimes, when I'm driving late at night, I still hear tapping on my window. Being a trucker means constant travel, endless highways, rest stops that blur together, and the occasional creepy town with a name you've never heard of before and hope to never hear again. It also means dealing with change. Every day, every hour, things are different. You drive into storms, watch cities fade behind you in your mirrors, and trust your instincts more than GPS. But danger? That's something I never used to think about. When I started, I felt invincible. Sitting high in my rig, all that horsepower at my command, I thought I was untouchable. Just another guy clocking miles, sipping coffee, listening to radio hosts bicker about politics. The open road felt more like a movie set than real life. But what happened to me that morning at 4 a.m. changed everything. I had just crossed the state border into what felt like nowhere. The night sky stretched out like a heavy black sheet, not a single car in sight. The highway was empty. No taillights, no billboards, not even a flicker of civilization. The only sound came from my engine and the occasional crackle of the radio. My eyes were getting heavy. I'd been driving for hours, trying to reach the next stop before sunrise. I switched between chat shows and static, hoping something would keep me awake. But then it happened. My truck began to slow. Not a gradual slowdown like when you ease up on the pedal. This was sudden, unnatural. I pressed down harder, thinking maybe my foot had slipped. Nothing. The truck kept losing speed. My heart picked up. "Come on, don't do this now," I muttered. The truck rolled a few more meters before stopping completely. I sat there for a few seconds, frozen in confusion. No warning lights, no strange sounds, just stillness. Then it hit me. I'd run out of fuel. How had I missed it? I remembered hearing the warning beep earlier. I just ignored it, thinking I had enough to get to the next station. I cursed under my breath, unclipped my seatbelt, and stepped out into the cold night. The silence outside was thick. I stood there, phone in hand, debating whether to call my boss or roadside assistance. That's when I heard it, a voice. "Looks like you've run out of gas." I spun around fast, my heart leaping. The man approaching me seemed to come out of nowhere. He was in his early 40s, maybe older, with greying hair, a wiry frame, and a thick moustache that twitched when he chewed something. I think it was tobacco. He walked with a limp and had this unsettling calmness in his eyes. "Yeah, I'm fine," I said quickly, holding my phone like a weapon. "Already called someone." He didn't stop. "I got a place not too far from here. Got some fuel I can grab for you." His voice was gravelly, almost rehearsed. Something about him just felt off. Too convenient, too timed. Why was he right there in the middle of nowhere? At 4 a.m. I didn't buy it. "Nah, I got some in the back," I lied, "but thanks." I got back into the cab and locked the doors. I watched through the windshield as he stood still for a moment, like he was thinking, then turned and disappeared into the tree line without another word. I finally called my boss. He was groggy, but said he'd send someone out right away to tow me. It'd take about an hour. I locked everything, curled up in my seat, and eventually drifted off to sleep. I felt safer with the doors locked. The strange man was gone, and I just needed to wait it out. But when I woke up, I was moving. At first, I was disoriented. My body rocked gently with the motion of the truck, like it always did when on the road. I sat up, thinking maybe I was dreaming. But the scenery outside was real and moving past my window. I rubbed my eyes. Then the fear set in. No one had woken me. The doors were still locked from the inside, and yet I was being towed. But by who? I opened the window, leaned out, and shouted, "Where are we going?" No answer. We were off the main highway now, travelling a rural road surrounded by dense trees. Fog had settled in, and the moon barely pierced through it. I looked around for road signs, landmarks, anything, but it was all unfamiliar. We were heading deeper into isolation. Then I saw it, a large, run-down barn ahead, and we were heading straight for it. Panic surged through me. This wasn't protocol, this wasn't normal. I grabbed my phone and called my boss. He answered quickly. "Where are you? The tow truck's still an hour out." I froze. "Then who the hell is towing me?" I shouted. He paused, then said he was calling the police. "Get out of that truck now." I didn't wait. I unlatched the door, jumped out, and hit the ground hard. Pain shot up my side, knocking the wind from me. But I scrambled to my feet, heart pounding. The tow truck came to a slow stop. I turned back. The driver's door creaked open, and he stepped out. The same man. Greying hair. Limpio. That same damn piece of chewing tobacco in his mouth. He spotted me and spat. "You should have stayed put," he growled. I ran. Branches whipped at my face as I tore through the woods. Behind me, I heard a gunshot. The crack echoed through the trees. I dropped low and crawled behind a fallen log, trying to silence my breathing. Footsteps crunched the underbrush. "Turn yourself in," he shouted. "It'll be quick." I clutched the earth beneath me, forcing myself not to move. He got closer. So close I could see the shadows of his boots just on the other side of the log. I thought it was over. But then he turned and ran off in another direction. Relief washed over me until I peeked over the log. He was about 100 feet away, staring directly at me. I bolted. I didn't have a plan. I didn't know where the road was or where the truck was parked. I just knew I had to get away. Bullets pinged against trees and rocks around me as I zigzagged through the woods. My lungs burned. My legs screamed. Finally, I spotted my truck in the distance, still hitched to the tow. I slid underneath it as bullets hit the side panels, echoing like thunder in my ears. I pressed myself flat to the cold ground, praying he wouldn't look under. Then, sirens. The sweetest sound I've ever heard. The man cursed and took off into the forest. Moments later, 2 police cruisers pulled up, lights flashing, tires skidding. I crawled out from under the truck, shaking, barely able to speak. The officers rushed over, weapons drawn. 2 of them ran off after the man. The others helped me up. I sat in the back of a cruiser while they questioned me. I told them everything. The man, the tow, the barn. They nodded grimly. Later, one of them told me the barn was inspected. What they found inside, well, he wouldn't say. He just looked at me and said, "You're lucky. Whatever he had planned for you, it wasn't quick." They sealed off the area. The barn became part of some ongoing investigation I never got the full details on. But that man, he was never caught. I still drive today, but I'm not the same. Every strange face at a truck stop gets a second look. Every knock on my cab at night makes me flinch. I keep a knife in the glove box and never let the fuel drop below half a tank, because out there, somewhere, that man is still roaming the back roads, still chewing his tobacco, still looking for someone to help, and the next driver might not be so lucky.